Hi everybody, this is the video for the Home Connection called Better Boxes. So let's get started. It says at the top, Brad found some additional boxes in his storeroom. He is wondering if these boxes will work for packaging some of his hand-stitched balls. For each of the following problems, assume that a ball fits into a 1 by 1 by 1 space. Use numbers, labeled sketches, or words to find the answers and show your work. This is like those shapes we were making the other day with the boxes, the Omnifix cubes. We're figuring out the volume of the boxes that Brad is filling. So how many baseballs fit in it? So number one, how many baseballs would fit in a box that has the dimensions 3 by 5 by 2? In order to do that, we just multiply. 3 times 5 is 15, times 2 is 30. So 30 baseballs. All right. On the next one, how many baseballs would fit in a box that has the dimensions 2 times 4 times 5? Now I noticed that 2 there, and I know I'm really good at doubles, so I'm going to do 4 times 5 first and then double it. Maybe you want to just do 2 times 4 first and then multiply it by 5. But whichever way you're going to do, go ahead and try to solve that. Okay, you should have gotten, if you do it my way, 4 times 5 is 20, times 2 is 40. So that would be 40 baseballs. Let's double check if that's true if we do it the other way as well. 2 times 4 is 8 times 5. 8 times 5 is 40. So it's the same either way. Now again, if you don't know your multiplication facts, don't forget that you should have a multiplication table in your binder to help you with these as well. How many baseballs would fit in a box that has the dimensions 4 by 3 by 6? All right, again, go ahead and try to solve that. Pause the video for a second while you try to solve. Okay, I am going to do this one as a double in half, but this is how I'm going to do it. First, I'm going to figure out 3 times 6 is 18. And I'm going to half the 2 and double the 18. So 18 plus 18, if I can't do it in my head, I can stack them up there. So 2 times 36. Now I have to add 36 plus 36. 6 plus 6 is 12. Carry my 1. 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. So I get 72 baseballs. So don't forget that double in half strategy that we talked about last week as you are trying to solve these problems. Oh, I'm trying to give it a moment to refocus here. Okay, there we go. So now we need to, these two are exactly the same as what we just did, except that we need to figure out the dimensions ourselves. So how many baseballs would fit in this box? I'm going to go across, back, and up. So 1, 2, 2 times back, 1, 2, times how many layers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 6 is 24 baseballs. Again, if you wanted to use your doubling strategy, you could do 2 times 6 is 12, times 2 is 24. Another way to figure that one out. So how many baseballs would fit in this box? I'm going to go across, back, and up again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4. And you might notice I'm putting a little dot in each one as I count it, so I know that I've counted each one. 5 times 5 is 25 times 4. 25 times 4 is, if you said 100, you are correct. Again, you could have done it 5 times 4 is 20, times 5 is 100 is another way to do it. However helps you. If you did 5 times 5 is 25 times 4, and then you wanted to double the 25 times 50 and half the 4 to 2, you'd still get 100. Okay, another one where we have to count how many baseballs would, what the dimensions are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. times 1, 2 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, again, thinking of 8 times 2 is 16, and then having to do 16 times 6 is hard multiplying. So I'm going to do 8 times 6 because I know that 6 times 8 is 48. And then it's times 2, so 48 plus 48. 8 plus 8 is 16, carry the 1. 96 baseballs. Again, when we multiply, we can do it in any order we want. So if I want to do the 8 times 6 first and then multiply it by 2, I can do that. I'm allowed. It works the same. Brad is hoping to package exactly 48 baseballs together. He sees the side of a box in his storeroom that is 2 by 3. What is he hoping the other dimension is? Well, if it's 2 by 3, that means that it's 6 together. And I just said that 6 times 8 is 48. So he is hoping that it's going to be 8 as the other dimension because he wants it to multiply out to be 48 altogether. So Brad is hoping to package exactly 64 baseballs together. He sees the side of a box in his storeroom that is 4 by 2. What is he hoping the other dimension is? So if it's 1, 2, 3, 4 by, let's go back, 1, 2, that's 4 times 2 equals 8. If it's one layer, then it's going to fit 8 baseballs. 2, it's going to fit 16. 3, it's going to fit how many? 24. We're going by eighths, can you tell? So what times 8 equals 64? That's what we need to figure out. If you want to keep counting up, you sure can do that. So this is the base of my box, and I'm counting layers. You can do that. Otherwise, if you know what 8 times something equals 64, just put that down. Otherwise, you can use your multiplication table too to figure out what times 8 equals 64. The answer, pause it and figure it out, but the answer is 8 baseballs. Okay? Now, like I've said before, I always want you to at least try the challenge. So let's read it and try and figure it out together. Harris said that 15 times 9 is equivalent to 45 times 3 because you can multiply one dimension by 3 and divide the other dimension by 3. His partner said that only works when you double one number and halve the other. Who is right? Explain. Well, do you think that it works the same with other multiples? As long as I multiply this side times 3, can I divide that side times 3 or by 3? Yes, you can. So he is correct because if you divide one side by a number, you can multiply the other by the same number. Okay, that's the trick. And often we don't teach that necessarily because how often are you going to have numbers that you can divide and multiply by the same number? This does happen to work out that way, but we're not going to have that very often. Okay, so that's why we just do the 2's because 2's might happen more often. All right, if you have any more questions, please ask. That was the Better Boxes work home connections.